to this view. Can you hear me now? Well, this is fun. Is it working now?
Yes, it's working.
Okay. Audio's back. Perfect. Okay. I think I just had to have myself in and the windowed screen, so I will get rid of all of that in a minute, hopefully. Well, I don't know if I can actually, but sounds great. So I'm going to go over all of that again. I'm so sorry about the audio issues. It's my first time using StreamYard like this. So thank you all for coming to the very first Svelte Sirens event. I'm very passionate about the Svelte community, and I hope we can keep growing this thing bigger and better than ever. If you want to join us live, you can head over to SvelteSirens.dev and click on the Join the Community. And we are in the Events Voice channel and anytime in the Svelte Sirens channel if you want to chat. So if you're interested in the code I'm using today, the GitHub repo is in the description on YouTube, or it's at BrittanyPostma/SvelteKit-design-system, and there's a few branches we're going to be working with today. So let's see if we can get this started and keep everything going well this time. All right, switch over to that. And hopefully everyone still can hear me. All right, this is Building Design Systems in SvelteKit, and I'm Brittany Postma. A design system is like Google Maps. You get places faster, avoid problems, and stay on track towards your destination. The definition of a design system is the source of truth that allows an individual or team to design and develop a product easier and faster while maintaining consistency. That source of truth can vary depending on who and how many are working on a project. It could live in Figma or Sketch, something like Storybook, or be as small as a single CSS file. But the key factor is no matter how small the design system will tell you how your product should look and feel and allow you to develop it faster. I would be remiss if I talked about building design systems and didn't mention Atomic Design by Brad Frost. It's a methodology that starts with atoms, the foundational building blocks of the structure. Molecules are then created by piecing atoms together. These are simple groupings that don't cross functionality. Then we have organisms, which start to become more complex groupings that may include a variety of other molecules or atoms. A header or card component is an example of this. Next, there are templates that place these organisms or components into the page layout. And the final piece are pages, where the entire UI comes together to look like the end product. While this is a very valid perspective on building design systems, it can lead to decision paralysis sometimes. It's better to just start developing and break out the components once you see they are being repeated in multiple places. So my question is, does a design system need to be a complex set of rules and components, or can it be something much simpler? I want to suggest a different way of structuring your code by looking at a few different ways of building design systems with SvelteKit. Going to minimize that, and we are going to get started with component libraries. Component libraries are probably the thing that people think of first when visualizing a design system. They provide Lego block-like components to piece your site together. These are more full-fledged systems that are typically documented in a style guide and able to be imported into any project. Here I have created a SvelteKit app that I started from scratch, and I've configured these aliases to be set up to the paths that I wanted them at, with the @ symbol pointing to the directories. In the package.json, instead of installing and importing Carbon components and Carbon component Svelte packages from NPM, as the doc suggested I do, I've taken IBM's Carbon design system and put their library of Svelte components into my src lib components folder and dropped all of those in here. Each of these folders has Svelte components that IBM created for their design system called Carbon. Originally, all of their CSS variables were in one large CSS file, but I sorted them by type into the lib styles folder, into more digestible chunks that are then imported into the styles.css file. So we can see here that I've imported the unpackaged version of their base CSS, which is a minified version. I took my compile time down from minutes to about a second. I broke out the colors, layout, spacing, and typography variables each into their own files to organize it a little bit better and make it easier to find the individual styles. Those are all imported into the styles.css file, and then we are importing that into the layout file, which wraps our entire application in Svelte, or in SvelteKit rather. So these are usable on any route. I'm using the design system grid in the layout and row and column components in the home route, the index.svelte file, to lay out the buttons, input, and form components. I'm going to go ahead and start up the server so we can see that that's actually running here. And here is what we have on our index.svelte page. And this is the home route, the index.svelte page on the browser and what it looks like. So this is using Carbon components that they have created, but instead of using their NPM package, I have installed all of it separately and broken it out so that it is more easily organized. So what if I told you that there was an easy way to package your design system and make it portable? The SvelteKit Package command allows us to package up everything that is inside of the lib folder so that it is publishable to NPM. We can add the package script to the scripts in the package.json. So here I've already added that script. So it's package and then svelte-kit package. And then you will be able to run the npm run package command to generate that folder. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to stop the server and run, I'm using pnpm. So I'll do pnpm run package. And we'll generate that package folder. And we'll take a look at what's inside. It does take couple seconds to generate that. And now we have that, and it actually tells us here how that we could go ahead and publish our package. But let's take a look at what's in the SvelteKit package generation. So all of our components have been generated for us here. We have all of our styles. Everything that was inside of that lib folder is here. And it generates a package.json for us with the name of what we have in our package.json and all of our dependencies. So now we can go ahead and do the CD package, and it tells us, and then npm publish. Now, one thing to note here is you do have to be logged into npm and have your account set up for this to work. But once I hit publish here, it will run through all of that, and this will be available for everyone to use at SvelteKit-Carbon-Design System on npm. And it's got your version right there as well. So that's an easy way to get this done, right? But what if we wanted to use something besides a component library? What if we wanted to just use vanilla CSS? So I'm going to switch over to the branch feature vanilla CSS and see that I've done a very similar thing. I'm going to run our dev server. Oh, what did I do? Come on, feature vanilla. Try npm on this one. Nope. Of course, this worked earlier, and now it's just not working. Well, that's interesting. Missing script dev. You are not missing script dev. I'm going to try to restart my VS Code. That is a fun little bug. And I'm on the right branch. There it goes. Yeah, that was Fun. We'll go over to localhost. And we can see that I've created a very similar thing here in vanilla CSS. Oh, you know what? Someone told me I was in the wrong folder. That's right. I CD'd into the package folder. That was my bad. Sorry about that. This live coding, this is why I'm not doing much live coding. It's super fun. So in this one, I've taken vanilla CSS and done the same thing with the styles. So I've imported them all into the styles.css. And then each one just has the individual CSS variables in it, but it's all in vanilla CSS instead of in SCSS. So we can use those same techniques with vanilla CSS by creating a system of CSS variables that are used throughout the app to maintain that consistency. This allows us to create the design system with little effort, and with Svelte scope styling, they can even be updated at the component level and not affect anything outside of that. And then I want to show you one last way that we can achieve this, which I think some people might disagree with me on this one. But I consider Tailwind design system to be a design system. It allows for faster development and consistency with the base config. Steve Schroger and Adam Wathan have spent lots of time refining the styles to flow well together. It's also very easy to customize to the needs of your site, but with customization can come inconsistencies. So be careful when you're deviating from the base styles and make sure that you're watching those type scales and the spacing and making sure that they're still consistent. I'm going to start up the dev server here so we can see I have the exact same thing, but I've done it with Tailwind CSS. Post CSS was cannot find module. What did I do? I broke everything. I'm going to try running pmpmi and then pmpm run dev again. Wonder, yeah. Now if we refresh here. Thankfully, that worked. I was getting a little nervous, but it worked. And we can see that I'm actually using the Tailwind styles here this time, and we don't have any of the styles folder, the individual styles folders. So they're all broken out into the Tailwind config file, and I am importing this preset theme. And in the theme.cjs file, I'm actually breaking out all of those colors that we were using and configuring Tailwind to be exactly what Carbon Design System is. So you can see that you could easily edit Tailwind to be whatever you need it to be. And now we've discussed several ways that SvelteKit can help you develop packages and ship your design system. Now go out there and start creating.